Ladies, the Confident Woman Experience is back for round 2 with the hashtag I'm Dope on Purpose event featuring powerhouse Evelyn Wilson of God Flow Nation, going down August the 22nd at 11 a.m. Register now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Confident Woman Experience Round 2. My name is Tanisha Atkins, and I am the founder of the Confident Woman brand, which is hosting the Confident Woman Experience. The Confident Woman brand is a culture. It's a culture of powerful, influential women of purpose, a sisterhood of support and accountability. So that's who we are, and that's what we do. Our main missions are to help women to build their confidence and their self-esteem, to promote sisterhood and collaboration over competition. We do not believe in the whole competition, and to empower women to live free and unapologetically, and to help women to develop their brand, their brilliance, resilience, to become admirable and notable, dynamic women of purpose. So that's our mission. That's what we're here to do. And thank you for joining us for round 2 again of the Confident Woman Experience. Round 1, if you had a chance to check that out, we had an amazing lineup of women. We talked about fashion and fitness and self-love and self-care, all much needed topics that us as women, we need to have those conversations. It's important to take care of yourself. Sometimes we put ourselves at the bottom of the list, and we're the last ones. And when you do that, you fall apart like that. You can't hold everybody else up and then you're falling apart. So it was an amazing experience. I want to encourage you to check it out if you missed it. It's on YouTube at the Confident Woman brand. I guarantee you it was just over the top. So thank you to all the ladies that participated with me this morning. For that one. So this morning we're back for round 2. Now today we're going to talk about hashtag I'm Dope on Purpose. Why is that important to talk about that? Because some of us are holding on to our gifts. We are holding them inside because of fear of rejection, fear of what people are going to say about us, fear of what people are going to think. And you need to understand that you are dope on purpose. All your gifts, all your talents, everything that God put in you, He did it on purpose. And He doesn't want you to just sit back and hold on to those things. It's time to live free. It's time to write that book, live that dream, start that business, whatever it is that He's calling you and putting your heart to do. This is the time and this is the season to do that. We always talk about how in the graveyard there's a lot of people, a lot of dreams there. When you die, you don't want to die holding on to that dream, because you were afraid of what somebody was going to say about you or think about you. So you don't have a right to do that. You have to let it out. So it's going to be an amazing day. I have with me powerhouse Evelyn Wilson, and I'm going to bring her on in just a second. But let me tell you, I found Evelyn some kind of way on Facebook. I saw her somewhere talking, and I just really resonated with the things that she had to say. She's such a powerhouse, and I know when I wanted to talk about this today, I just knew that she was the one to come on with me and do this, because she's confident in who she is, and she's very transparent. And I feel like this is the message that we need to hear at this time. So I'm going to bring Evelyn on, and she'll introduce herself and tell you who she is and all about what she does. Good morning, Evelyn.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you this morning? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Super excited.
Well,
I think, go ahead.
introduce yourself and tell them who you are and what you all the many wonderful things you do because you wear so many hats and you wear them all. So I don't know, it may not be easy, but you make it flow, and I'll tell you, it's amazing.
Yes, ma'am. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I love, love, love this platform. Let me say that first because it's so important for us to be confident women. So, thank you for even providing this space for us to chat today. I am Evelyn Wilson. I'm the founder of Godflow Nation. And Godflow Nation is a compilation of a lot of things, but our main focus is understanding to that how God flows in our life, and that's what God flow is all about. So we, have experiences and opportunities in the space of spirit life. We have experiences and opportunities in the space of relationships, in the space of work and entrepreneurship, as well as the space of self-care. And so I do wear a lot of hats, but as long as I keep it in those four things, I think I'm doing all right. I think I'm
That's
doing all
good.
right.
That's a good strategy. Because you are. I always say you're the strategy queen. Like I said, it may not always be as easy as it looks, but you seem to juggle your hats well. So that's good.
Thank you. Thank you. That is
And
definitely a compliment.
yeah, and you can Evelyn. I want to encourage you to definitely follow up Evelyn on Facebook. She's always just, I don't know, it's just every time she's on, she just always has like that right now word that you need, like right then and there in that moment. Like we all have moments, we're encouragers and we're pushers and empowering people, but we have moments sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And so she
Yeah.
always is like, she's so transparent. She's like, look, listen, because listen, I got upset.
Okay.
I didn't feel like it. So, we need that. We need women to be real with us and say, look, sometimes you are not going to feel like it. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Absolutely. Yes. One of the things I know for sure is that leaders, need a safe space to be able to say, hey,
mhm,
wait a minute, I'm not okay today. And we've
mhm,
seen, over and over again, and I don't want to take it too low too quick, but over and over again, we see it where, leaders, pastors, all these types of people that we think are that's doing amazing in life, they end up committing suicide
mhm.
or end up having psychotic
True.
breaks or different things like that. So for me, it's so important that authenticity that you see, that transparency that you see is my way of saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm not perfect. Yes, God has given me a gift. But no,
Mhm,
every day is not going to be perfect. And don't
mhm.
hold me to your standards. I'm going to operate
Right.
in God's standards only. So, yeah.
Right, and that's I mean that right there, just like you said, like I always think of that too when I see someone who I maybe looked up to or something, or just happen to catch them a time or two, and then I found out well they committed suicide, and my mom was like, "What in the world happened?"
What happened?
Like
What happened?
what in the world? And I think just like you saying that being transparent and saying, "Hey, I'm not okay today."
Yeah.
We have things that we deal with and we have to sort out, and we need to talk to counselors and therapists and all those things, and
Absolutely.
just not being afraid to step up and say, "I need somebody today," but
Absolutely.
I don't want to be judged about it. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So.
And I know, we're going to be talking about confidence today and being dope on purpose. And that's a part of it. You can't wear a mask and be confident, truly confident, right? You can't wear a mask and think that you're really going to show up as who God wants you to be. Like at the end of the
Right.
day, you got to be real about what's happening. And for me, it's really important to be real in real time. A lot of people
Mhm.
are real after the fact, but I want to be real in real time because I want people to see, hey, I'm with you. You're not alone. We're going through this
Right.
together and we're going to win together.
So Evelyn, like you're talking about that. So tell me, like, how do you deal with like some of the judgment or the negative comments maybe from family and friends that may know you and say, she's just telling too much or whatever. Like, how do you
Yes.
deal with people who say you shouldn't be doing that,
Woo!
Evelyn, because you're dealing with this? Because
Oh,
I dealt with that, and sometimes I get mad.
wait. We get in the real today. Okay, here we go. So, yeah. No, I recently experienced that. I know your audience doesn't know much about me, but recently, I went through a divorce, and it was a shocker for friends and family. But we know when you're in it, it's not really a shocker for you, even though it still hurts, you grieve, and all of that good stuff. But I chose to openly share my journey with it and the experience that God allowed me to go through with healing after it, right? And so I got some backlash. I got some people being like, you're doing a little too much. You're sharing a little too much. At the end of the day, something, Holy Spirit is so amazing because something came to me right before this interview. And it was basically, I guess it's just a download, but at the end of the day, I want to be okay with what God tells me to do. It doesn't have to resonate with you. You don't have to understand it. Please excuse me if I'm not perfect or I'm not getting it right according to your standards. But at the end of the day, I have to be okay with what God told me to do. And at the end of the day, my results are going to happen because of my obedience, not me being obedient to you, family, friend, follower. not being obedient to you, but being obedient to God. And so I think a lot of people wrestle with, people pleasing and wanting everybody to be okay with the decisions that we make. I've been there, done that, find myself slipping into that sometimes. But at the end of the day, I have to say, I have to be authentically me, or I'm not going to be authentically happy. I'm not going to have authentic joy and peace. And so that's how I deal with it. Now, as far as what I say to people, because honestly, this year, people have been bolder than ever. I'm just going to be honest. People have been bolder than ever. Like, I'm talking about in my inbox. I'm talking about, doing the most. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, what I've decided to do is just be honest and open with people. Let them know, hey, you may not like this situation, but this is my space, my platform is what I'm choosing to do. And when it really, really boils down to it, I know you may not want to hear this, but sometimes you have to disconnect yourself from certain people because their opinion of you and what they want to place on you, it can begin to be toxic. It can really deal with your mind, your body, your spirit. And so what I've learned is, yes, you want to approach your brother, approach your sister with love, be honest, be open, share with them how you're feeling. But at the end of the day, if they still come at you, that type of way, they don't really need to be in your space. Oh, yeah. So I lost a few friends, lost a few followers this year. But the thing about it is when you go through those things, God is going to give you some type of heads up. If we pay attention to it, He gives you a heads up to what is about to happen in your life, what season you're about to go through. And at the beginning of this year, before any divorce, before any COVID happened, before anything happened, God gave me a heads up. And He was like, Evelyn, this is a year where I want you to be revolutionary. I want you to stand out. I want you to speak up and say what people won't normally say. And it's going to cause you to lose some people in your life. And I heard it, I'm a God girl, so I heard it and I was like, okay, God. And I even spoke it. I knew it. But when it came down to happening, I was like, oh, this is real. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna still stick with you, God, though, because you've been with me. You had my back all the way. So that's how I deal with it.
That's just and that's just a good thing about it. Like, even though, like you like you said, you sense it, you feel it, you pay attention. As a true visionary, that's what we do. We look at what's going on around us. We start putting these puzzle pieces together and saying, "Ooh, something's getting ready to shift. I feel that shift coming." Yeah. But then when it actually happens, it's still sometimes you can't really mentally prepare yourself for the impact of how, because it affects you, and then if you have children, and then your family. And so just being able, but I just love how you stand in your truth and say, look, today, this is where I am today. I got angry today. I said some things, because that's the kind of, she said that. She's like, look, I had a day today. And I appreciate that, honestly, because so many people, and no shade to anybody, but they get on here like everything is so perfect. My home is perfect. My children are perfect. Everybody's just good. And then when you log off, you in the corner crying.
My
Like, we
God,
can't
come
be like
on.
that.
Ooh, come
You
on.
can't be like that, you know. If you, and we still talking about being dope on purpose, but you got to clean up that inside and get real about what's preventing you from being dope. There's something suffocating the dopeness. That's what we're saying today. And you can't even get to the real you because you have all these emotions and you don't know what to do with them. And we've all had to deal with the rejection. If you have not checked out our podcast this month on rejection and how to handle rejection, I want to encourage you to check that podcast out, because when you change your mind about rejection, and you hear this cliche that rejection is redirection, it really is redirection. When they slam that door in your face, it takes you from where you want to be to where you're supposed to be. And we don't like that, because we want to be there. We keep knocking on that door. We showing up with gifts. We saying, please let me in. I'm sorry. We begging. You don't beg. You go find the table where you're supposed to sit. So y'all check out that podcast. I'm telling you, that word revolutionized my life, because I was doing that in my life. I kept knocking on the door, like, what did I do wrong? I'm sorry, you know. And God, like, how many times you gonna do this? How many times you gonna keep showing up here, getting this door? They don't want you over here. And I'm like, and when God starts talking to you like that, you gotta pay a real close attention. And I said, okay, Lord, I'm supposed to be over here. So where am I supposed to be? And let me tell you, where you're supposed to be is so much fulfillment and joy and happiness and purpose and just life. You think you have life. You get where you're supposed to be. That's living right there.
Oh,
that's living right there.
I knew this was gonna be good, but I didn't know it was gonna be this good.
You know, I just want women to get it. You know, I want women to know that we are special. We are that thing when they say we are a masterpiece. We are really a masterpiece. So you don't sit down somewhere. A masterpiece is supposed to be admired. You know what I mean? So if you're somewhere and they're not admiring you and they keep kicking you out, no, that's not. But that's something you have to learn, you know, over time. So I'm telling y'all, check out that podcast, because it was really just some of the revelation that was just simply amazing. So Evelyn, let's just talk a little bit before I toss you the ball over to get into your main topic. Some things that are kind of going on today. Now we have the COVID and everything, and this is election time. There's just a lot going on. I think, what do you think about how that's impacting women being at home now, homeschooling? I know you're a mom, so how's that for you?
Oh, well, okay. So I'm a little different. I know, you know, like you said before, I do a lot of things and I have a lot on my plate. And so I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. Okay. Now, let me preface this by saying I was a teacher for over 10 years. So I taught K through 12th grade. Most of the time I taught music, but sometimes I taught regular classroom, you know, math, science, all of that stuff. So knowing that, I still don't want to be the teacher for my kids.
Hey, that's real. That's real.
I don't want to hop into that space. So, you know, I've brought somebody on board to help me with that. And so I'm excited about that. But I know a lot of mothers that either don't have that luxury or don't have the ability to be able to bring someone else in, you know, and do those types of things. So one thing that I would say, I think that it's showing us our strength. I think it's showing us how to take space and slow down, because before, you know, we were always on the run, on the move, always doing something, always trying to show up, you know, and I'm an entrepreneur full time. So I kind of left the whole corporate thing a few years ago, but many are still in that space. And so they've been showing up for the boss, making sure that I do this and that and this and, you know, showing up for everybody. But I think this time has really given us an opportunity to slow down, to take a look on the inside and see what's really working for us, what really makes us happy, what really brings us joy, what really makes us effective as people, as women, as mothers, as wives, as all of the things. And so if you are in this time and you're not really taking a good look at yourself and how you're operating, that might be an issue. So I think out of
Mm-hmm.
everything that's happening, we should, be in a space where we're taking time to really evaluate ourselves and how we can move better in this world, in our families, and even in politics or wherever it is, understanding how we
Mm-hmm.
can move better. But I will say, it's a lot of pressure right now. It is. And, if you don't, either, have therapy or, have a strong foundation in God and all of these things, you can find yourself in a space where you might crumble. But I think a lot of women are rising out of this stronger and better for sure.
That's yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. Some women I talk to, they're like, I'm not handling this well, but just understand that this is where we are right now. This is what you have, and you have to. One thing that a while back when I was getting real frustrated, and I was just always, as soon as things kind of start going left, I'm like, I'm just frustrated. And then God told me one time, you're frustrated because your mind is not here. Your mind is somewhere else, but you have to be in the present. This is where
Yes.
we are. This is what you're dealing with. Like, you want to be working on other things, but this opportunity does not present that at this time. So
Yeah.
if you take your mind and shift it to, okay, this is where we are. Maybe I didn't expect to be over here. Maybe I don't really want to be over here. And I think that also shows God that you're adjustable. You're ready for that next level
Oh,
when you
that's
can
good.
stop getting so frustrated about everything. Like that's some things we go through a test and we don't realize it,
Yeah.
like, just to kind of see some things shake you up to show you what's in you. Some
Come
of us
on.
started saying a bunch of curse words when we mad. I was guilty of that. I was ashamed of some of the stuff that was coming out of my mouth. I was like, "Ooh, Lord, I can't believe I acted bad like that." And I bet he was like, I was like, I said some stuff. I was like, I'm tired of it. I'm just being real, and I just
Yeah.
had to say, I'm not gonna be like that. I got to get this under control. I'm not where I want to be, but just breathe through it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
breathe through it and breathe
Yeah.
through it. So I want to talk about one more thing before Evelyn takes off with her message, and I want to talk about voting. And I know you're tired of hearing people talk about voting, but let me just say this. It just hit me the other day that women did not always have the privilege to vote.
Hmm.
And that sat with me for a second.
Yeah.
It hit me in a different way because I'm like, how dare they tell?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Evelyn?
Yes. Uh-huh. You were
Okay.
frozen for a
Sorry
second, but
about
you're
that.
good.
How dare they tell women that they can't vote? Like, who are you to tell women something like that they can't vote? So I think about all those women and what they went through to get that law passed for us to vote. And I feel like we owe them that. Like, don't make their work be in vain of what they went through. And maybe that kind of stuff don't matter to you, but that matters to me. What's your
Yeah.
take on that, Evelyn?
I believe that's true. I think that um it's a little bit of echo. Hopefully I'm still clear. But yeah, I believe it's true. I believe that it's important for us to, make a good decision based on um, how we want to show up as citizens, and it's similar to what I was talking about when we're going through this time of, self reflection. How do you want to show up as a citizen? Do you want to be someone who, didn't show up, who didn't have a voice in whatever way, whether it be through voting or through protesting or through whatever it is? Or do you want to say, you know what? Things didn't necessarily go the way I thought they should, or yeah, things did go the way I wanted it, but it's because I had a say so in it. I had a right that I didn't have, a few years ago. And so, yeah, I think it's really important to show up for sure.
Absolutely. I think I'm checking my mic here. I think something happened
Yeah.
with my mic. Let me check here.
I just heard a
All
little
right.
echo, but I think it'll be okay. Yes.
I'm trying to just check and make sure.
There we go. I think that's it.
Okay.
All right, yeah. All right, so those were some good points. So basically, go out and vote, or however they're doing it this year. But just, if you don't know who to vote for, check the candidates out. We're not here to persuade you one way or the other, but let your voice be heard. We're talking about being dope on purpose and everything. Let your voice be heard. What do you stand for? What do you want to see the direction that you want the country to go in? Even if you feel like it doesn't count, at least you cast your vote to say, well, this was my input on the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's that about that. Again, not trying to persuade you either way. It is what it is. So with that being said, are you ready, Evelyn, to take it to talk to us about hashtag I'm dope?
On purpose. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna excuse myself and I'm gonna let Evelyn take the floor, and then I'll be back. So we're gonna answer any questions and give away a couple of gifts. So take it away.
Hey, everybody. So I'm super excited to be here with you all today. That conversation has already been so good, but I'm honored to share with you all today about being hashtag I'm dope on purpose. Dope, being dope is one of my favorite words. I don't know. I'm an 80s baby. And I just love that. It's just something that I say all the time. But, I never really try to break it down. And so today I'm going to give y'all something to help you remember um, pathways and how you can be dope on purpose. First of all, just recognize you're already that, okay? You're already that and more. You're already everything that God has called you to be. You're already designed perfectly. So don't let anybody tell you anything different. That's the first thing you have to recognize. A lot of people don't show up in the world and don't show up in different spaces. Um, because they don't recognize that they already are enough. They already are enough. So for you today, you already are enough. So understand that, okay? Many years of my life, I thought I was showing up. It was mainly because of the compliments or the accolades or the things that people would say to me and share with me, you know, have you ever had an experience where you felt like, people think that you're wonderful and amazing, but at the end of the day, you don't quite feel it. You don't quite understand or recognize what they actually see in you. And so for years and years, I experienced that, went through, everyone on the outside kind of being like, oh, she's pretty cool. She's pretty amazing. And then me on the inside, not really feeling it. And one thing that I had to do in order to begin to understand who I was, to begin to actually, step out and walk in my purpose, is I had to really determine what that purpose was. And that really was through seeking God, through prayer, through being intentional, being really intentional. And I have to say, my real journey to discovery and understanding who I really am in Christ, and just who I am and who I should show up as in this world started in 2016. So it wasn't too long ago. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but I have to share that openly and transparently because there's somebody else out there who went through the same thing, who experienced the same thing, basically lived all of their life not really knowing, excuse me, y'all, not really knowing their true purpose, not really knowing who they are. So to be dope on purpose, you have to know what your purpose is. And I want to say this as a part of that. We were talking earlier about being present and understanding that, you have to be here in this moment, not concerning yourself with the future, right? Because the Bible says that the tomorrow will take care of itself, not concerning yourself with the past. Because at the end of the day, if you're looking to the past, you're going to find yourself in regret and disappointment, and even sometimes going into depression because there's nothing you can change that happened in the past. There's nothing you can change about the future. You can only focus on what is here and now and doing that and being the best you can be right here and right now. And so I shared with you that I started my journey to really understanding purpose in 2016. It's when I recognized, hey, who am I right now? And if I don't necessarily like who that is or what I've become, how do I make myself better? And that's when that journey happened. I just decided to start focusing on my spiritual life, my health, all of those things. And one result of that I didn't really recognize that would happen is I began to build my confidence in who I was, not who I was striving to be, but I understood that right here, right now, as a beautiful plus size woman, as, a mother, as a wife, as whatever I was in that moment, that I'm A-okay and I can do some pretty powerful things. And so that's what I had to recognize. It couldn't be a striving to be somebody that I was not, but I had to be okay with who I am right now. So let's talk about DOPE, DOPE. So I gave y'all some a little acronym for DOPE, and I couldn't really decide on the D, so I have two. If you are watching, hello, speak to me because I like when people chat with me. If you're watching the replay, go ahead, let me know where you're watching from, all of that good stuff. And if you are watching live or the replay, I want you to put in the comments, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then also, like I said, I couldn't decide which one I wanted for D. So also discipline. Okay, do it anyway. Let's talk about that first. Do it anyway for me means doing whatever it is. Remember, I told you, you discover that purpose, right? You discover who you are. And then after that, do it anyway. When you discover your purpose, who you are, what you're called on this earth to do in this time, in this present moment, fear, all types of doubt, voices from the outside, all types of things will try to creep in and cause you not to live out that purpose, right? But I want you to remember, when you're talking about being dope on purpose, do it anyway, okay? When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, listen, I know I might not be feeling my best today. I know I might be tired. I know that the bills might be due, whatever the case may be, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. And what does that look like? Stepping out and speaking anyway, going and developing that business plan anyway, going and understanding that downloads and visions and dreams that you had, they're for a purpose. I say this all the time to my clients and to friends and family and people that I encounter. Everybody is not having the conversations that you are having. Everybody is not thinking the thoughts that you're thinking. God has given you those things to ponder and to have on your heart. At the end of the day, one of the most beneficial things for you when it comes to walking in purpose, to launching a business or whatever it may be, understand what is burdening your heart. What is a burden for you? Whenever you step out into business or into spaces where you're providing things for people, one of the major things that we know, and this is a little freebie on the business side, is when you provide something that people need, that's when you're going to be successful, right? And normally, if you have a burden on your heart about something that's happening in this world today, in society, in your family, whatever the case may be, that may be your space to show up and be dope. That may be your space to show up and provide a solution. That may be your space to show up and just be amazing, right? And in return, you're going to be helping someone, but then in return, you will be receiving provision and whatever it is from that, okay? So number one, do it anyway. Do it anyway. And we're going to do a side note on that and talk about discipline. Now, for me, this is something that I'm really focusing on this year. Like I said, in 2016, I started my journey to really understand who I was, to show up as a better person, to really just put fear aside and step out. And in that, I was able to develop something called the God Flow method. It was just a Holy Spirit download. I was doing a vision board at church one day, and they showed us something called the rule of life. And so you, in that particular scenario, you create rules and set boundaries in your life that are kind of like, non-negotiables, right? And so look that up when you get a chance, the rule of life. And so it had these different quadrants and different methods and things that you use. But from that, God kind of showed me where you could literally have your life flow in a way to where you can reach a particular goal in a more intentional way. Okay. And that method is called the God Flow method. So I'm going to share just a little bit with you about that today. As it relates to discipline. Okay. So for me, one of my main goals this year is to be disciplined in areas that I have not been disciplined in before. Okay. And so if you're watching live, let me know something that you want to accomplish this year. What is a main goal for you? And then we're going to kind of go in how we can use the God flow method to achieve it. Right. So if discipline is my goal, what does it look like for me to be disciplined in my spirit life? For me, it looks like making sure that I pray every day, making sure I read my Bible, making sure that I meditate, take some time to be quiet, take some time to actually hear from God. Okay. And so if I make that a rule in my life, if I make that something that's non-negotiable for me, I can find myself flowing to that space of more discipline, and then it will yield good results in my life, right? So that's spirit. That's one quadrant that we work with the God flow method. Now let's look at relationships. Now, mind you, we have these methods and we have these things that God downloads into us, but if we don't put it into action, it won't work. So today I encourage you, as I'm sharing these tools with you, go ahead and put it into action. Go ahead and use it and let it work in your life. Okay. So we talked about the spirit quadrant, right? Now let's look at relationships. If my center or my goal is discipline, yours could be anything. It could be, wealth. It could be, what is it? Peace, joy, hope, love, whatever it is. But if mine is discipline, what do my relationships look like right now? And how can I maneuver, or how can I go about my days to where my relationships are actually going to be a benefit to me when it comes to discipline? And in turn, I'm going to be able to show up and be present in my relationships. Okay. So I had to think about that. What does that look like for me? For me, this year it was hurtful because it looked like actually letting go of some relationships. It looked like actually, saying no more often. It looked like really understanding that, yeah, you wanted the best for that situation, or you wanted the best in those circumstances, but it's just not looking like that. So do you hold on forever to it, or do you let it go and really allow God to heal and reveal whatever it needs to be revealed about yourself in that situation, and then bring you to a space of more love, more peace, good relationships? And our host today, she was talking about, and I wanted to chime in then, but God is bringing it to my remembrance now. But she was talking about how she showed up in spaces where people were rejecting her. They didn't want to let her sit at the table and all of these different things. And I know that to be true in many relationships. And what I've determined is that the experience that we've had in certain relationships that have been toxic, that have been not good for us, that have been hurtful, that is not God's design. It's not God's design for you to put your all into a relationship, whether it be romantic or whether it be friendship, business relationship, and then you're getting torn down every step of the way, or it's not being beneficial to both people. It's not God's design. And so I had to wake up, and I pray that anybody who's watching that's dealing with that today, whether it be romantic or whether it be friendships, family, whatever it is, wake up and understand that no, this dysfunction is not God's design, period. It's not. Dysfunction is not God's design. No, somebody downing you every day is not God's design. And when I recognized that, when I understood, wait a minute, this is actually not the way it's supposed to be. God began to bring people into my life that actually lifted me up, that actually pushed me forward, that actually, what I believe, love in the correct way, love the way that God would love that, what is it? I don't want to say the scripture because I'm not going to remember it, but love from the fruit of the spirit, right? Long suffering, understanding, all of those different things. But there has to be a mindset shift to understand that, wait a minute, this stuff over here wasn't right. And then when the right thing comes into your space, when someone who is treating you well comes into your space, when someone who values you and lifts you up comes into your space, be able to receive it. Be able to receive it. Okay. And so for me, instilling connection with discipline, letting go of certain relationships that were not serving me and that were toxic had to happen in order for me to be able to focus on what it is that I wanted to be disciplined on. Okay. If this is helping y'all, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm super excited. And make sure you share this with somebody who needs to hear it. So we talked about spirit, we talked about relationships, and this is the God flow method that I'm sharing with you all today. Okay. So let's talk about wealth. Let's talk about wealth. There are many ways that we can attain wealth, right? There's wealth in relationships. There's actual money, physical, dinero, right? But one of the things that I like to focus on with, my clients and different people that I mentor is that understanding the importance of wealth and building a legacy. And, one thing I like to say all the time is we can try to help all the people in the world, but if we're suffering behind the scenes, if we, not making ends meet, if we're not, being able to provide for our families and stuff like that, it makes it real difficult to go about and help someone else. It makes it real difficult to cause change in this world. And in this world today, it's just the truth. Money kind of gives you a voice, right? And so, how can I be more disciplined in that area of wealth? And so that's something that I have to consider. And I'm sharing my journey with you so that you can plug yourself in here. How can you be more disciplined, or either whatever your goal is, have more peace in this area, or show more love in this area, or whatever the case may be? So for me, how can I be more disciplined in the area of money and wealth? Okay. That's what I have to say to myself. What does that look like? Maybe cutting back on some things that I once did. And this COVID really, allowed a lot of us to cut back on some things that we thought were necessary, right? And they weren't exactly necessary. And so the final quadrant that I want to talk to you about today is wellness. And this is actually the core of where my discipline is needed for myself right now, because I understood that, you could be running, like our host said today, I wear many hats, I do many things, but you can be running. But if your body is not well, if your mind is not well, if your spirit is not well, it's for nothing. It's for nothing. Just think about all of these people who amass a lot of wealth, or who have lots of things, or even who are popular and well liked. At the end of the day, if that mind, body, and spirit is not together, you still find yourself in spaces of not being happy, not having joy, not having fulfillment or wholeness. Okay. And so, just using myself as an example again, what does it look like to have discipline in my wellness? It looks like going for a walk every day, or, choosing something that's healthy for me, or whatever the case may be. So for you, I want you to just think about whatever that thing is for you, whatever that goal is you have right now, and see how your boundaries and what you're doing is lining up with you reaching that goal. And that's really how you're dope on purpose. Okay. That's really how you're dope on purpose. For me, dope on purpose means being intentionally dope, right? Intentionally showing up, not just letting life happen to you, but understanding that you have a say so in what happens to you. One of the major things that I have had an aha moment this year about is that God gives everybody free will, and He gives us free will for a reason. We can literally will a thing into our lives. We can literally speak a thing so much, focus on a thing so much that it becomes our reality. So why not be dope on purpose? Why not, manifest or bring that dopeness into your life on purpose and be intentional about that, instead of constantly talking about what's not right in your life, or constantly dwelling on what's not right in your life, but bringing it together and being intentional about bringing the dopeness. Okay. So that was a lot for point one, but I'm going to speed through these other ones. So D, do it anyway. Put in the comments, do it anyway. Okay. Hashtag discipline as well. For O, I decided to focus on overcoming, and really overcoming all obstacles. So no matter what comes your way, in order to really be dope on purpose, you have to understand that the weapons are going to be formed against you, but it doesn't mean that they have to prosper. A lot of times we set our own selves up for failure because we're focusing on the obstacle instead of focusing on who can get us out of the obstacle or how we can get out of the situation, right? So D, do it anyway. O, overcome. Be an overcomer, period. Overcome all of the obstacles that are set before you. You can and will do it. It's just understanding, believing it in your mindset, and then letting your actions follow. All right. So we got D, we got O. P, patiently evolve. Somebody say patience. Patience. Listen, I really had to learn this, and I pray that those who are watching today that this resonates with you. Have some patience with yourself. Show yourself some grace. Understand that condemning yourself or beating yourself up about a decision you made, a mistake you made, it does not get you anywhere. It only keeps you stuck longer. So once you are patient with yourself as you evolve, once you show yourself grace, forgive yourself and others, then you give yourself the space to flow forward. Then you give yourself the space to move forward. But if you're stuck in regret or condemning yourself or being like, man, why did that have to happen? Or why did I have to do that? Or why did they have to do that to me? If you're stuck in that space, you cannot move forward. There's no space to move forward with that type of thinking. So P in our dope, right? P, patiently evolve. Give yourself some patience, okay? Yeah, I could go a little deeper into that, but I won't. I won't do it. I won't do it. The E in dope is to eliminate excuses. At the end of the day, you've recognized who you are. You understand your purpose. You understand you're going to do it anyway. You're going to step out in spite of fear, in spite of whatever is happening. You understand that you are an overcomer. You're going to overcome all obstacles that are set in front of you. You are going to patiently evolve. Understand that it's not going to happen overnight, and it shouldn't happen overnight. Anything that happens overnight or that's built up quickly, more than likely it's going to crumble. It's going to crumble. And so after all of that, we're going to eliminate all excuses. After all of that self-work, all of that just looking at yourself and understanding who you are and why you're set on this earth, there's still going to be some things that come up that could be an excuse. I could have said, no, I'm not going to be a speaker because no one wants to listen to me about wellness. I mean, come on. I started a whole fitness brand, and you can actually go check it out at godflowfit.com. And it is about being fit, faith-inspired transformation, mind, body, and spirit. I could have said, God, why do you want me to talk about wellness? Why do you want me to talk about fitness? I'm still on my journey. I'm still trying to get it right. And, when I ask those questions, God says, why not you? Why not you? Eliminate all the excuses. So I say that to you today. Why not you? You could be the one that could bring someone Christ. You could be the one that could give someone hope. Your dopeness could give somebody else hope. You stepping out in your purpose could give someone else, the idea that they can do it too. So why not you? Why not you? Eliminate all excuses. Money be an excuse. Don't let lack of experience be an excuse. Don't let lack of education be an excuse. Don't let anything be an excuse for you showing up and being dope on purpose. So thank you all for listening to me today. I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me just do a little bit of a recap. Listen, how are you going to be dope on purpose? D, do it anyway. O, overcome your obstacles. P, patiently evolve. And E, eliminate all excuses. Hey, lady.
Hey, no, I was just here for the recap. I was just having an amazing. I hope that you all took some really good notes because that's exactly what we're going to do. Recap. That eliminate excuses. Like, that's just the key right there. And, I was like, wow, that E is just so powerful because that really is the number one reason why we're not allowing that dopeness to come out. Yeah. Is because we have these excuses. What if they don't listen to me? And I love that you said, why not me? And even in starting this whole Confident Woman brand, I struggled with it for a long time. I was like, that's not really my thing. Like, why me? Why you want me to do it. But the thing about it is, after realizing, yes, I'm the one, God literally had to say to me, you're it.
Yeah.
And I was like, me, just going. I can imagine God being like, stop saying that over and over. I already said you're it, but it's just allowing it to. I didn't see it in the beginning, and that's the thing with being dope. You may not see why or completely understand, but the more I thought back over my journey and how I was really like bullied at school and stuff, and how I went through that whole, and then the turning point, it just all made so much sense. Like, you think you know your life, and then you like, how in the world did I get over here? But it's really like little puzzle pieces that you pick up
That's
along the way.
it.
So all that dopeness, just always wanted to inspire people. I always want to find a way. Or if it looks like it's bad, let's turn it over and see what it looks like on the other side. And so if that's you and you have your gifts and stuff, and you say, well, maybe I sing, or maybe I have the gift of teaching, or maybe I have the gift of whatever it is. Maybe you always have a right now word like Evelyn, because she always have a right now word. Like, I don't know, that's just a gift to me. Like, she always to me have I have a right now word. And so don't take those things lightly. Is what we're saying. Like, that's your dopeness, and like, you're dope on purpose. I love that like, eliminate all those excuses. So if y'all are watching, if y'all have any questions for Evelyn right now, drop your questions in the comment section. But very, very good points that you made today, Evelyn, on being dope. And just giving yourself permission. That's what I would say too. You have to give yourself permission
Yeah.
to be dope. Like, don't hold on to it. And you feel it. You feel it on the inside. You know it's like sitting right here, and
Yeah.
it wants to come out. But again, we're keeping it. We're suffocating it with fear and what people are gonna say. If you don't take away anything today, just understand. Let that dopeness out. Even if
Yeah.
you have to, it's uncomfortable sometimes. I
Yeah.
was behind the scenes, girl. I come out. I'm still in the theater world a little, but my main focus for a while was theater. But I was mostly behind the scenes, writing and stage directing and doing other things technical wise. So this wasn't really my thing, to be out in front of people. And I had a business partner, and she is great at public speaking, so I let her do it. They were
Yeah.
like, "You want something to say?" I don't want to say nothing. But then it was a time when God started transitioning me, then I had to now have to speak up. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that, but there's a dopeness in there that needed to come out because women needed to hear my story.
That's
So
it.
they were wait. Evelyn told me, I will never forget this. When I had my meeting with her, she was like, "God told me to tell you they waiting on you," and I was like, "They waiting on me?" And I'm like, "What they waiting on me for?" I'm just being honest. And then it just stuck with me. Like, I just kept hearing that they're waiting on me. And so I
Yeah.
want to say that to you, that people are waiting on you. And
Yeah.
you don't have a right to hold on to that gift and that talent. What are you keeping it for? What you going to sing to yourself in the mirror? Read to yourself? Write a letter to people are waiting, and people need that. Like, I didn't realize how much women needed this confidence
Ooh.
message
Yeah.
until I got over here. And I'm telling you, people that knew me last year might be like, "I can't believe you on Facebook Live. I can't believe you talking." And I did not want to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is
Wow.
I
I'm
didn't
so
want to
glad you
do it.
did. I'm so glad
I
you
did.
did.
So,
Really.
don't fight the purpose. Don't fight the dopeness. It really is amazing. And I want women to feel how I feel right now. When I wake up every day, I feel so full of purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like who needs what I have to say today? Like, where you want me to go today? Like, I just feel it's amazing to go from being depressed, feeling not wanted, not needed, overlooked, all that stuff, to feeling
Yeah.
like people really need me. And people are really booking consultations with me.
Yeah.
People are paying me. Do you
Come
understand what I'm saying?
on. Come
I'm just
on.
telling you, there's a whole new world out there if you just let that dopeness, eliminate those excuses. Don't worry about
Yes.
what they're going to say. Don't worry about who watching. You may go on live and have one person watching. You may have zero
Don't
watching.
worry.
Go
Yeah.
live anyway.
Anyway,
what you said, Evelyn? Do it
listen,
anyway.
do it
do it
anyway.
do
Yes,
it anyway. You'll thank yourself later.
yes, absolutely. It's nothing like it. Nothing like
Yes.
being dope on purpose. Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. And it's just, if that's you, if you're feeling stuck, and I'm gonna say this, we're not gonna hold y'all too long, but if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like that your life is on the repeat cycle of going nowhere, you're going through the same circumstances with the same people, the same time of year. Facebook have this memories thing. And this
Hmm.
was a big wake up call for me because I kept checking the memories because I do that like at midnight. I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to see what I did last year. And for a
Uh-huh.
while, I was checking those memories and saw that I was feeling the exact same at the exact same time that I was the year before. And that was a
Listen,
wake up call for me.
can I say
I was
something about
like, what
that?
am I doing?
Can I say
Yes,
something about that?
please.
Because, okay, bad cycles, you don't want to repeat it, right?
Right.
But pay attention to the good cycles too, though. Because I,
Mhm.
I saw that too. I was like, wait a minute, I was saying the same thing I'm saying today,
Mhm.
last year, this time. So pay attention to both good and bad cycles because if you pay attention to the good cycles, you'll be prepared and ready to push forward when that time comes in your life. Because sometimes we have times where it's a time of renewal or it's a time of
Mhm.
detox or it's a time of whatever. So pay attention to those good cycles. And then, like you were saying too, understand and recognize, hey, wait a minute, I'm going through the same bad stuff too. So
Yes.
let me figure that out and work that out. Yeah.
But that's a good point too,
Yeah.
to pay attention to what did you do right and when was it working? Like what were
Yeah.
you doing at that time? Who were you hanging with? Just creating an awareness
Yeah.
of who you're with. How do you feel when you're with that person, with those
Yeah.
people? Are they validating you? Are they trying to pull you back in the comfort zone? Are they disqualifying you? Your circle, it matters, and you want to know, like, well, why I don't hang out with the friends I used to? God has to migrate you to people like Evelyn, who I did not know at first, who are out here doing it to let me see you can do
Come
that.
on.
You can do that, and it just has been. I didn't understand that at first. Why I can't just hang with the people who I used to hang? Because you have to migrate. You have
Yeah.
to migrate to where you're supposed to be, so
Yeah.
you that dopeness can cultivate, and you can say it's okay. Listen to what Evelyn is saying. Like, wow, she's out here talking about purpose. Like, she's out here really saying, listen, do this, and got strategy down. That's what you need. So if you're feeling like, all my friends have left me, I feel like I don't belong. It's okay, to just migrate, over to where you're supposed to
Yeah.
be.
God makes all
So
things new. He makes all things new. Can I share something
yes,
before we hop off? Because I didn't share this. Speaking
yes,
of
please.
speaking of all things new, I'm going into a new period in my life. I spoke a little bit earlier, and I'm sharing this because I guess Holy Spirit is dropping me on it because I just feel a pull. But
Mhm.
I went through a divorce this year, right? And I moved through healing. God healed me from that. I'm still healing from, some things that happen in the marriage, but when it comes to dealing with the actual rejection of divorce, God showed me a
Mhm.
way to really heal from that, right? And show up with joy and with peace and loving people and believing in love and all of that. And so I experienced, someone come into my life that was amazing that I feel is designed for me and purpose for me. So I want to share with those who may have gone through divorce or may be in a space where you've been single for a long time, kind of giving up hope and all these different things. Don't give up hope. Sis, live your life, show up and be dope on purpose. Better yourself, work on your health, do things you love to do, and
Mhm.
understand that God, if that is a desire for you, because God places the desires in our heart. So if that is a desire for you, God's going to bring the person for you into your life and be open to receive it. So be healed, be whole, have fun, and really be able to experience that love for real. So I wanted to share that with you all, and something new that I have going on, and it's called Love Flow Dating, and you can go to loveflowdating.com and check it out. We're going to be traveling. We're going to be, meeting new people, all of that. And you know what I know for sure is you're not gonna meet Mr. Right or Mrs. Right sitting at home.
That's right. Talk about that. Talk about that.
You might meet them sitting at home, but you got to be doing something while you sit at home. Because I actually did meet my my man, listen, at home. But you know, you're not gonna meet them just sitting there wishing that they'll come.
Right.
Consider hopping on that webpage, joining our wait list and all of that, because we're taking a trip to Jamaica in March. And so I would love for anybody in your tribe who wants to join us that is single to come on and hop on in there and join us. So
all right, now this is for single people. This is not a marriage retreat. So you have to talk to people like that, because people are hard-headed sometimes. This is not a marriage retreat. So if you're married, it's not for you, okay? Singles retreat. Now, are people, if they're couples and they're single?
Yeah, if you're a couple, if you're not married, that's all the criteria is, you're just not married.
Okay.
And some people are single and, kind of looking to meet someone. And some people are single and just, want to be around good people, and so about is we're gonna have so much fun. I'm so excited.
Sounds fun. I told her, Evelyn, she's doing a lot. She wears a lot of hats, but I love that you're scheduling time to just say, hey, during this time we're gonna get away and just be around good people. And that's good. Some of y'all need to change some people so that your life can change. Just hang around some positivity. All that negative stuff, you gotta cut them cords, which is what we don't want to do. Well, we're getting ready to close. I do want to invite you to the Confident Girls Club. I'm doing a 12-week mentorship program for women who are looking to up their confidence, regain their confidence, to personally develop. It's going to help you develop personally and professionally. And this course, I'm telling you, is going to be so amazing. The way that it's just coming out is just blowing my mind. We're going to talk about who took my confidence. That's important that we know who took it. Because you were not born. When we were born, we came in the world. We knew we were supposed to be here, and we came out. We were confident that this was our time to be here. Yeah. So you did not come out with low self-esteem. So where did it come from? We're going to dig into that. It's a group setting. It's 12 weeks. It's $25 a month because it's going to be 3 months. And we're going to ship you out the supplies that you need for that. But it's going to be life-changing. I just love the way that it is coming out. You're going to see yourself in a whole new light, because we're going all the way back to the beginning to find out who we are, what we're here for. Is going to be amazing. So check that out. Let me put the link on here so you can know where you can sign up for that, and I can send you more information. Now, the classes start in September. September the 20th is when we kick off. And so if you want to be a part of that, I cannot even find my, but it's bit.ly/confident. Oh, Jesus, why my mind went like that? I hate when that does it.
It's okay.
Oh, God. I hate when that does it. My mind just went like, what was I doing? Anyway, I'll post the link on here so that way you can sign up.
Is it on your page? I'm on your page right now. Is it on your page?
It is on my page somewhere. It's crazy because my mind just, there it is right there. Confident Club. Jeez. So you can go to this link right here. Jesus. beyonce.ly/confident club. You can sign up, put your information. I'll send you an email to tell you all about it. It's for women 18 and up, because I know it says Confident Girl Club. And yeah, that's just the name of it. That's the name that came to me, and I'm rolling with it. So whatever. It's the Confident Girls Club. But if you go to that link right there, put your information and subscribe to our newsletter. Check out our podcast. It's all once a month. The Confident Woman brand. Connect with us on Facebook or all across all the platforms, Instagram, YouTube, at the Confident Woman brand. Evelyn, did you have anything that you want to share in closing today?
Y'all just be dope on purpose. Listen, step out, do it. Like you were saying before, and literally, I'm pretty sure I say this often, but someone's life actually depends on you stepping out and being who you are. Okay, so it's a serious matter. Don't let anything stop you from being dope. And I'll just say this too, because it came to my mind. don't let anybody determine what dope is either, because you are dope. Authentically you. You are dope. So that's all I
Yes.
have for you guys. And check out loveflowdating.com.
Yes, and I tried to put the link, and unfortunately, I'm on my phone, and it would not let me today. So I'm glad
No
that you
worries.
came back and shared the link. And I do want to give away 2 gifts today because I am a brand strategist. So I'm going to give away 2 sessions with me. And these are good sessions because we go in our sessions, okay? I'm confident about who I am and my ability to help you get the job done. So if you want
Yes.
to reach out to me, you can, if you subscribe to the Confident Club, and I'm going to do a drawing, and I'll pick 2 people, and I'll give you each one of you a session, a brand strategy session. Even if you don't have a business, it can be about something that you have going on because you are a brand too. So this is not just for business owners. You are a brand. So maybe some things you need to sort out in your life. You say, I'm just so stuck and scramble. I have a gift of helping you to unscramble and to say, hold on, sis, this you're doing too much over here. So if you would like to, be interested in that, just go to that link right there and subscribe there. Put your information in, and I'll do a drawing. And for the 2 names I pull, you can get a 30-minute session with me. And I want to thank Evelyn for joining me today, for taking out some time out of her schedule to join me. Awesome message today. Connect with Evelyn on Facebook. She's Evelyn Wilson. You can find her, and I'm telling you, will not be disappointed because she always has right now where, and she may feel like, "Ooh, that's a lot of pressure on me," but she does. Like when she goes live, she always, you're gonna hear something that she has to say, and she has a group and everything. When you follow her page, you can see all of her information. Well, we would like to thank you for joining us today
Thank
for the
you.
second round of the Confident Woman Experience. Now we're going to come back in September. I'm going to try to do it once a month. Now for September, we're going to do it on the 19th, which is the Saturday, which happens to be my birthday. And I'm going to talk to you about how I found the real me, like the real me. So I'm going to
Love
talk to you
it.
about how you can find the real you. So that's going to be September the 19th. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And I think it's going to be amazing. You're going to hear some things that you definitely can help you take your life to the next level. Well, thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much again, Evelyn. I appreciate you. You all have a great day. And until next time, we're over and out.
Bye, y'all.